Well, hello everyone. So I came to Tatum today to dyno the bike. As you can see, I've got my helmet, I've got my MCM Mighty Car Mods, Dyno ear defenders, which I desperately need. Thank you, Marty and Moog. You see, I'm back at the shop. Been absolutely crazy recently. Here's the bike with its titanium carbon, and you've heard it before, but why not? Get in there. This sounds even better than it did when it was steel. Crazy. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, I just rode it here. This bike is savage. It's spinning up the back tire if I sit too far forwards. If I sit at the back, it just power wheelies in first, second, and now third, which is fun. It's monstrous, and the sound, I can't really explain it. It does not sound like an MT-07 or an R7 at all anymore since the titanium carbon. It sounds like it's an R1 or MT-09. I don't know. It does not sound like a twin at all. It's really weird. Now, it's a fairly long ride here. I don't know if you guys could see. And this thing is deciding to go auto-focusing. Don't do that. Okay, camera won't do as it's told. So anyway, yeah, it's slowly changing colour. It was only about 30 kilometers. It's yeah, it's vicious, absolutely vicious. So the bad news, they are super busy. I was supposed to come in and as it is always with me, they thought they had time, and then suddenly tons of bikes just showed up, and now I don't have time to dyno the bike, and I don't have time to be here, so I'm gonna have to leave it in their hands. Now, I have to tell you something now. They're gonna test this as is, as it was, as before, so nothing has been changed since last time. It's just the titanium and the carbon, and then at some point, and I will tell you when, the airbox modification will happen. It's gonna look completely standard, but it won't be. At the moment it is. Later it won't be. Okay? What else should I tell you other than that I'm really hot? Yep, gonna have to leave her here while they work on it. These guys are shouldn't really show you in there, but just bikes everywhere. Bus man, hello. He may dyno it today, he may dyno it tomorrow, don't know. So I might be here to record it. If not, my good friend here will take some footage if you can. Yeah, these guys are legendary for the R3 and the MT-03. It's MT-03 here. I like these. They're good bikes. But I mentioned it before, they're basically number one. You can see there's the race bikes up there. And last time, I mean, Yamaha, the actual company, were here researching the R7 and learning about, well, the R7, and also they learned from them about the R3 for racing, if I remember correctly. I think they uploaded a video, but it's all in Thai. I'll have to go find it. But they did a video, like, just there. And again, that was Yamaha, actual Yamaha. Hope he doesn't steal my exhaust idea, because I've got a patent on it. Be interesting. Anyway, so that's how it is for now. Hopefully, this will be edited together with footage from Tatun Bossman, or I'll be back tomorrow to record it myself, which would be much better because obviously I've got the fancy camera, fancy mic, and I got my ear defenders. You know, I don't want it on Marty and Moog. I really needed those, so I appreciate a lot for those. You know, it kind of sucks having to leave your camera inside remotely, and now I've got the ear defenders. I can just get right up close. They look pretty cool too. Hello, boss again. They're brothers, if I remember rightly. So, oh yeah, that's my Zeus helmet. Good helmet, that. It's actually really good for the money. These are really nice. I was really looking forward to wearing these. Really comfortable, and you can't hear a damn thing. And like a dog, I jump like a little girl when there's a thunderstorm, which happens a lot in Thailand, and I keep these by me just in case. Yeah, I'm not scared to admit it. A lot of people are like that, and the thunderstorms here get pretty fierce. So you know, it's weird. You know, I can fire a gun; it doesn't really bother me, but thunderstorm, bang! It just scares me. I'm like a dog running around. Woof, 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 woof. Anyway, I'm going to sign off here and hopefully edit in myself or these guys' footage of how the titanium and carbon gets on. Now, I don't think this will be the 8990 like it was last time, because that was the R7M, which is literally designed to make as much power as possible. Who cares about torque? This is the opposite. This just makes more everywhere, so you don't sacrifice or lose anything besides weight, a great sound. I've got to sound like a salesman here. I don't want to sell it. I don't like doing those kind of things, but it is awesome. We have a few problems at the moment. The government has, so yeah, everyone's messaging me, you know, when can I buy it? When can I buy it? Got a big problem. It just came out of nowhere. The government has literally locked down all international payments, and PayPal is closed down for Thailand. I think I'll leave a link below. There's a lawyer. I can't take payment. I've looked everywhere. I found one called Skrill, but I'm having difficulties with the address verification. Don't know why, but you know how things go. So I'm waiting for American Express to send me a actual invoice, because I'm paperless. You know, I don't need, it's annoying having all those envelopes, right? So I'm paperless, but I need them to send me a physical paper with my address and name on it so I can certify it. Then I'll be able to take payments. How long is that going to take? Could be now, could be tomorrow, could be the day after. I honestly don't know. So yeah, that's the problem at the moment. Yeah, it kind of sucks. Whether those that have left a deposit, don't worry, that money is actually safe and I can return it. I just can't take money back in, if that makes sense. I can send money back, but I can't take money in. But other than that, PayPal is gone in Thailand until the government rejigger it and add 15 or 20% tax on top of the fees. I mean, it'll be crazy. So I've got to find another way of doing it. So luckily we do own a company, but it's complicated. It's very, very complicated taking payment as a company in Thailand, internationally. Can do it, but the fees are high. It's like it's intentional. I don't want to say anything bad, because you can't. You know, there's laws for that here if you say anything negative. So I'll say nothing and let you decide what you think about that yourselves. But those are the facts as it stands right now. Alright, so I'm going to leave the keys with the big man and say goodbye to this, and hopefully say hello to you, and we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how this comes together. Alright guys, peace out. And like magic, it is now Saturday, and I think I recorded on Wednesday or Thursday. So I have something to show you. This is the original air filter that you get on the MT-07 and the R7. Now, as you can see, that's how new mine is. You know, 800, 900 kilometers, so it's like brand spanking new. This here, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it is an air filter from another motorcycle. Now let me show you something interesting. Ignore this humongous single. I wonder what that's going. I think it's going to X Max. Anyway, so look at that. Very similar. almost exactly the same, right? But this is the crucial difference. I just measured this across, and well, it's about I'd argue it's 57 because I didn't really do it accurately. But this one, have a look for yourself. Around about focus, around 41, 42. Huge difference, and I haven't even bothered doing a cross. So let's do that now. This thing is ridiculous. I mean, honestly, there are 150cc motorcycles with bigger air filters than this. Alright, now this is not 100% accurate. I haven't done it, but we'll argue what, 65? Okay. I've already zeroed this out, by the way. And I've still got a wrapping on this bad boy, so come on. You know, this is not as exact science. But yeah, 80, 81. Do the maths in your head. Massive difference, right? Now, I'm not going to tell you what model this comes from. That's top secret. But this is an OEM from another bike. And, I mean, this is just pathetic. And it really makes me frustrated. This is part of the reason why the MT-07 and the R7 just don't make power, and that Horde airbox makes a big difference. Of course it does, because this thing is tiny. I mean, if I, oh, they're not here, but if I show you like the R3, R3's got a bigger air filter, and that's a 320cc. This is absolutely pathetic. It's just a joke, absolute joke, you know, for a bike that's supposed to make 70 odd horsepower. What the hell are you thinking, Yamaha? It's alright, I'll fix that with this. Easy enough. I bet I won't even need to Dremel. Just find a way to get it fixed in place. And let's see what happens, eh? Because so far I've only been using this. Yeah, I made 90 at the wheel with this piece of S. Anyway, I'm back with Marty and Moog's wonderful ear defenders. You know, ironically, as I mentioned earlier about the thunderstorm, we had a massive one yesterday. I whacked these on and it was like, what thunderstorm? She's loaded up in there. Come on, let's have a little mosey over. Woohoo! Yeah, you can see her there. All loaded up on the dyno. Now, I haven't really been very clear. So, this dyno was originally set up for 400cc, 500cc, and the official rating was 80 horsepower before. And they upgraded it. This is what happened. So when the bike was first dynoed, and I've uploaded it, I managed to find just a tiny snippet of the dyno. I haven't got the graph, unfortunately, but I managed to recover a photo. And yeah, it was making around 68 stock, and then it went to 78 horsepower at the wheel it was making. And that's basically what the dyno limit was, okay? And luckily they were upgrading it anyway, because the company that makes this, KKT, they do one that does 120, 140, 140 horsepower rating. So this was upgraded to be able to cope with 140. But what happened is that, you know, these things are, you know, they're not exact. They don't tell 100% truth. Every dyno is different, okay? They're measuring tools. Now, I do know I have a very healthy kind of unicorn engine because it is very fast. Always has been. I'm quite lucky because it's definitely faster than my MT-07 that I had. Because after I tuned and put the Ford Prokovic Acra when I put the full Acra Thai Carbon, one of the little twirly twirl, genuine, not copy. That thing cost a bloody fortune, over $1,000 or whatever over here. And I made like 73 at the wheel with that. Okay, and in that form, yeah, I mean, it was fast. But this bike stock with my Steel GP2 was more powerful. I know it was much faster. So it was a healthier engine to begin with. It's kind of like a lottery. You'd think by now there'd be a consistency, but if you go back to my past videos, okay, you've seen that I've been in many cars, right? M3s and comps. I mean, I've owned many myself, and the big diesels, and I mean, I can't even recall. I mean, Audi S3s, Golf Rs. You name it, stage 1, stage 2, all remapped and tuned and stock and all sorts of different setups. And for instance, my CSL that I used to own, right? I had a friend of mine that had a CSL2. Now, we used the same dyno, and his car was 20 horsepower down, and I had like 180,000 miles, and he only had like 50 or 60,000, and it was a much better conditioned car. I remember I had an absolute POS. My car was a mess. It's just luck of the draw, it really is. I just happen to have a healthy engine. I will be taking this to a dyno jet. There is a dyno jet literally down the road from where I live. Where I am now is not near where I live, I'll be honest. It's a bit of a trek to get here. But there is a dyno jet literally 10 minutes from my home. Some people say it overreads. I don't know. It's a dyno jet thing, right? I've heard that before too. But, I'll do it once I'm finished, so you can have different figures. But the important thing to know is before and after, okay? So we know what it makes on this dyno, and then everything that we do to it, the power added, it's relative, because yes, the power is increasing. Now, the number it makes may not be the same number you make. There's a customer of mine in Australia that gained about 5 horsepower everywhere, including torque, with the GP2. No remap, but on a completely different dyno. And his stock power was much lower than mine. So, it's all dyno dependent. And also engine dependent. There are unicorn engines. It's a real thing, I'm telling you. And if you're old enough to know, I'll give you another example. I had a GSXR 1100K, which we used to call the Kelly Killer. It was the most savage GSXR 1100, okay? That bike was a monster, okay? Now, I sold it because eventually the police kept chasing me on it. I shouldn't really talk about that. I used to be a bit of a hooligan in London back in the day on that bike, to the point where I couldn't go anywhere with it without the police turning the sirens on and chasing me. Right, so I had to get rid of the bike. And like a year later, I bought another K, and it was just so much slower, okay? I thought it was running on 3 cylinders. There was a little bit of difference. I had a full retro Yoshimura, but that bike had a full Micron. It's not great, but spec-wise, and the bikes are the same, and it's just an exhaust, but the power difference was absolutely massive. It was huge. It was I was so disappointed in the new K that I got rid of it within 2 weeks. I wish I could find a picture of it, but it was such a disappointment. And now those are the same bikes, but huge power difference. I never dynoed them, but I do remember I had 170 or 160 at whether it was at the wheel or the engine in England. That's probably at the engine, but it was around that on my old K. And I never dynoed a new one, but probably making like 130. And no, it wasn't an import. They were both British full power bikes, because I remember back in the day in the 80s, the Euro bikes were all like restricted to 100. That wasn't the case at all. They were exactly the same bike, you know, just different colors, same year, but huge difference. Why? Don't know. They were healthy. They all ran well. You know, I serviced them, spark plugs, carbs were set up perfectly. But yeah, it's just the way it goes. I had the same thing, the Bandit 1200, which are based on the same engine, right? The 1127 and GSSR 1100, 1157, the Bandit 1200. I've had two Bandit 1200s. I've had a Mark II and a Mark 1. And the Mark 1 I had was savage, and the Mark 2 I had felt like a wet fart. And I did everything to it. I did the pod filters, I upgraded the carbs, I put full exhaust, and it was still slower than my stock Mark 1 Bandit 1200. I know there's a tiny weight increase on that Mark 2 model, but still, like I said, they do differ. Now they are getting better as, you know, companies are making these tighter, tolerances are getting better, but yeah, I have a very healthy engine. I'm not afraid. I know. I'm not shy to admit that it is a healthy engine. So I'm lucky or blessed. Oh, I hate that word. Sound like Justin bloody Bieber. But yeah, we're all ready to go. Guys, come back from lunch. There they are. And I'm gonna cut this now. Have a little chat, and I've got my ear defenders, so we're going to get some awesome noises, and I promise you, this thing sounds incredible. I'm in love with it. I don't care if nobody buys it. I don't care. I am in love with this thing. You may not like this. You can have it full open if you want. Doesn't bother me. It's titanium. The whole thing's titanium. Save me money. Costs me more money. So, you know, you don't want it. Okay. Okay, right, I'm gonna cut it here, go speak to the guys, and yeah, it should be the Dyno run. Let's go. Okay, wow, long story. I had to pop out. Well, I didn't have to pop out. The brother wasn't here, so I went out looking at some parts. And then my battery died, and I had to borrow a lightning cable from some young girl on 7-Eleven because I can't go anywhere without Grab. And anyway, here now is evening time, but we're all ready to go. And there is a secret modification done to the airbox. As I just showed you, they managed to do it all already. That was so fast. I can't believe you did it already. So that air filter I showed you earlier is already in there, and maybe I'll tell you what it is and how you can fit it. Maybe I won't. Depends on my mood. Depends on the results, let's be honest. Hopefully the tachometer, RPM meter is reading correctly, because last time I said 16,000 RPM, which, you know, just isn't possible. I mean, that's like R6. So we are all dialed up. Oh, it came! New quick shifter. Forgot about this. I'm testing this out. You don't need to install that now. So maybe some of you know, some of you don't know. The Yamaha quick shifters are very bad, which is very disappointing. I waited for the official Yamaha release, and they kept breaking. Everyone that bought one, you know, clunky gear change, or they just break. There's a company here in Thailand that makes quick shifters for everything, and they don't break, allegedly. Now, if anyone's going to break something, it's me. This man's Holy shit. I'm gonna have to edit it out. I'm not imagining that, right?
No.
That is 88. Insane. And that's the airbox. RPM still a little bit off, but bloody hell. So I can't exaggerate this enough, guys. This this exhaust is designed for torque, not horsepower. So basically it's exactly like factory but more. Whereas, as you know, the single exhaust, right? That was more high RPM, and you lose torque at low RPM.
First, before we testing, I'm talking with Tatam. We are afraid we lost torque.
Yeah.
We lost some horsepower.
Yeah.
Because we modified for airbox. Anyway, up to the lowest. But perfect.
I knew it would be. I knew the airbox. I said it was the airbox. The airbox and these things are just stupid. They're so stupid. They're like, 300cc kind of engine size. You work on the small bike, right? That's a very small air filter for... That's just nuts. That is bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. And this is not the peak power exhaust. This is the torque power.
I will take my camera to keep the record. To show my face also. Wait.
I told you the secret is in there, didn't I?
Power box also.
It was all locked away in here. All it is air, fuel, exhaust, ECU of course, and just... Okay, I know this is like a dyno, and it doesn't go to 30,000. It cuts out at 12. The RPM's still not right, but I know because I rode here before, and it just basically, the clocks don't even go up that high, but it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I am just gobsmacked. I'm now making R7M power without any sacrifice of torque. So all it is just like the factory bike plus like 25%. I'm just blown away. As are these guys, and they're pretty proud, and they should be. Amazing. Let's cut this bit, and we'll do a little outro, I guess, of some kind. Okay, so while I was out, they dynoed it before they put the new airbox mod in, and it was 80, which is what you saw. So we added 10% power with a different air filter. You want to know what it is, Yamaha? Pay me. I'm not going to tell you. But you screwed up. That air filter that comes on this bike is too damn small. All I did was just put the air filter in. Barely needed to mod anything. It's just a little bit of silicone. We're putting a new quick shifter on now, not the Yamaha one that keeps breaking. It's one that's made here. It's got very good feedback, so fingers crossed. So there you go, guys. We are at 88.8 with titanium carbon, airbox, ECU, GP2 exhaust system. I am absolutely over the moon because I rode it here and it was an animal, and that was 80 or just under, and that was, I just felt fantastic. And now another 10%. You want to win races in those twin cups? Yep. And remember, this is the road exhaust. This is the torque exhaust. We put the R7M system on there, and that's another 6, 8, or 10 horsepower on top of what it's making now. Because again, I designed this to use or be just like OEM, but more. So you don't lose anything, you just gain everything from idle all the way up to redline, which is what it does. And there's a gentleman in Australia who can pledge to that. He did dyno and gains everywhere, all over. So, wow, I'm just blown away, absolutely lost for words. I'm just lost for words. No, I'm still not really in riding condition, nearly there, but definitely next week when I get the time, because I'm still finishing the R7M, you know, because now when this is uploaded, you'll know it's a full carbon, custom carbon NCAN. There's no steel, it's carbon. Same price, $499. So it's carbon NCAN, and then you got a choice of steel or titanium headers. But again, you will lose torque, but you will gain peak power. You know, a bit more like a 4-cylinder, especially with the remap. And you will need a remap to get the best from that. The best from the bike, full stop. Anyway, the lovely thing about GP2 is you don't need to remap it. You can just bolt that on and you will get gains everywhere, and more than those $1,000 plus systems you're seeing, especially shorty pipes. All right, guys, I'm signing off here. I mean, we're 99% done. I mean, this is a road bike. This is my, you know, this is not tuned for racing, you know, it's just a road bike. And we're nearly R6 level, but I've got a lot more to come. You know, I've got plans for throttle bodies, you know, head, you know, just little tweaks. Again, nothing crazy, just little tweaks. And then there's a little secret thing that I'm going to do. I can't speak any more about it. I can't. There will be even more power, and also it will be actually stronger than it is from the factory with that upgrade. And no, I'm not talking pistons. Okay, all right, guys, thanks for watching. Sorry for all the delays. Got a lot of things going on right now, you know. I've got suppliers of carbon, suppliers, the factory here, factory there, and it's difficult to keep things spinning, you know, and especially with the whole PayPal lockdown and international payment. Very frustrating, and you know, it gets you down. You know, you put so much effort in, you've made something really good, and you're ready to go, and then you get hit with that. You know, it's stressful, and you know, I have been stressed out about that, I'll be honest. But I will get it fixed. I will, and then everyone in the world can enjoy what the R7 should have been. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I appreciate all your positive comments, and you know, the people with the negatives, you know, be negative. It's fine by me. Let everyone else reap the benefits. I'm happy, they're going to be happy. So yeah, anyway, take care, like, share, subscribe, etc., and I'll see you later on. Goodbye.